Right, so today we're going to look at something pretty different, something pretty unique. It's called the Machine. And at first glance, it seems like just another DAW, right?
Yeah.
Another
Right.
digital audio workstation, which is software that musicians and producers use to make music.
Exactly.
But there's a twist,
Yeah, a big twist.
a blockchain twist.
That's right.
And we'll get into all that. But just to set the stage, normally when you think about software,
Right.
you think about downloads, updates, subscriptions,
Right.
that whole
Yeah.
software as a service kind of model.
You got it.
But the Machine, it's like they're taking a page from the world of like limited edition vinyl. It's not just software, it's like a collectible.
Absolutely. And I think that is what makes this so intriguing, right? It kind of flips the script on
yeah.
what we think of when we think of software.
Yeah.
It's not this thing that,
Right.
you just download and it's kind of ephemeral. This is something that they're saying is going to be limited edition.
Yeah, just 1,000 copies.
1,000 copies, that's it.
And of those 1,000, they're airdropping 25 to random fractal Bitcoin holders.
I know. Can you imagine
Yeah.
just holding some Bitcoin and boom, a dada?
Yeah, like you wake up and you're like, "Oof, I'm part of this."
I'm part of this exclusive club now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So there's definitely that exclusivity factor.
Yeah.
But let's get into the functionality a bit, at its core.
Yeah.
What is the Machine? What can it do?
So from what we've been able to gather, it's a pretty full-featured DAW. You can create beats, you can layer sounds, you can experiment with sonic textures, all the things you'd expect.
Right, the standard
Yeah.
kind of Dado stuff.
And the building blocks are all there.
Okay, so the basic stuff is there, but then there's this whole rune thing on the blockchain, which,
Right.
I'll be honest, I'm still wrapping my head around.
Yeah, so this is where it gets really interesting and I think potentially groundbreaking. So the Machine is being released as a rune on the fractal Bitcoin blockchain, and they've hinted that it might also be on Litecoin as well.
Okay.
And essentially, a rune is like a digital certificate of authenticity. It's a way of proving that you own this unique digital asset, and it's prominently etched into the blockchain. So it's traceable, it's verifiable. You can't just copy and paste it.
So it's like owning a piece of art, basically.
Exactly, like owning a rare piece of art. And that's a really powerful concept when you apply it to software.
Yeah, so you're not just buying software, you're buying a piece of
Yeah.
like potential music history, right?
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like owning a piece of the early days of something that could be really big.
Okay, so let's talk about the people behind this RTBNXH, which stands for
Recording Tools by Next Hustle.
Recording Tools by Next Hustle.
That's right.
And they're connected to this thing called Next Hustle for Life, which
Yeah.
is that like a movement? Is that a community? What is that?
It's a little bit unclear, to be honest. Their website kind of hints at it being a movement, a community, maybe even a philosophy.
Okay.
But it's definitely tied into this idea of entrepreneurship, creativity, and using technology to kind of push boundaries.
Interesting. Okay, so they're clearly trying to do something different, something innovative. But let's play devil's advocate for a second.
Right.
This whole limited edition thing, while it sounds cool, could it be excluding musicians who maybe can't afford,
That's a valid concern.
to buy into this?
Yeah, is this just a plaything for the crypto elite?
Right. Are we creating a situation where you need to be wealthy
Right.
to even have access to tools like this?
Well, and that's, I think, a broader question that we need to be asking as a society, right, is technology.
Right.
And especially access to certain technologies becoming more and more stratified.
Right.
And are we going to end up in a situation where only the wealthy have access to the best tools, the best resources?
Yeah, it's like they're building a Ferrari
Yeah.
when some musicians just need like a reliable bicycle.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it really highlights the potential conflict here.
Right.
Because on the one hand, you have this exciting innovation, this new way of thinking about software ownership and potentially empowering artists in a new way.
Yeah.
But then on the other hand, you have this question of access and affordability.
Right.
And so I think it's something that we need to be really mindful of.
Absolutely. So ultimately, why is this significant? Does this change everything?
Well, I think it forces us to ask some really fundamental questions about the future of music and the future of creativity.
Okay.
If music software becomes a collectible asset, what does that mean for creativity? Does it mean that only people who can afford to buy in get to be creative? Or does it mean that there's a new way for artists to actually own their tools and monetize their work in a way that they haven't been able to before?
Yeah. Could this be a new era where artists have more control?
Exactly.
Or does it further stratify the industry like we were talking about?
It's hard to say at this point, and I think that's what makes this so fascinating.
Yeah.
We're kind of on the cusp of something potentially really big, but we don't know yet whether it's going to be a force for good or whether it's going to exacerbate some of the existing inequalities.
Right. So, listeners, we've unpacked the machine, this fusion of music, software, and blockchain tech. It's limited edition. It's blockchain verified. It's potentially revolutionary.
Yeah.
But it also could be exclusive and hype-driven.
Right.
So what do you think?
Yeah.
Is this the future of music or just a fancy new toy?
Let us know.
Let us know.
Hit us up on social media, leave a comment. Let's get this conversation going.
Yeah, this is just the beginning.
This is just the beginning, exactly.
I'm really excited to see where this goes.
Me too. Me too.